Ce faci, mă, înfur bicicleta?
Adică ăștia fac harcea-parcea, justiția, arat pădurile, fură de la gura copiilor și ție ți s-a cășunat pe mine. Fură din spitale, fură din școli, fură zilnic de 1.000.000 de ori mai mult ca mine și ălora nu le zici nimic și nu le faci nimic?
Păi fă-le și lor. Votează USR Plus pe 6 decembrie.
I mean, what is the message here? What exactly are they trying to say? That they're going to steal less if they're in charge? Because, like, they're not against thievery. No, like, as long as you're stealing less than someone else, it is moral. And I legitimately found, like, people on social media saying that, oh, no, they have a point. Oh, do they? Where do you live? Tell me, where do you live and where did you park your bike? I'm curious, like, after the end, you're still going to think that they have a point. It's bewildering. It's you know, it's kind of funny because I guess this means that if you accuse them of something, they're just going to say, well, yeah, but you're accusing me of doing that, and maybe I have done it, but like there's other people that did worse than me. And there were a couple of members from USR which actually used that excuse when there were like some media scandals about them. You know, like this probably is the most honest commercial that I have seen in my entire life. It also doesn't say like what exactly will they do, like why should you vote for them. It's pretty much like the same thing that happens every single election. It's like vote for us because we're the lesser evil. You know, okay, fine. I genuinely don't know who to vote for anymore. I mean, these guys are, I guess, the corporate left, you can call them. You know, the type of people that have the target audience, the soy latte drinkers and the IT guy working at a corporation. Like, those are who their voting base are. I don't think, like, they have a single... And I am willing to change my mind. But I don't think they have a single farmer or plumber or any working class lad in their party. It's just like, you know... I guess the Romanian woke, you can call them, but it's not. They're not that extreme. They did have a lady, though, that was kicked from the party because she started asking for nationalization of private property. Yeah. But still, I wanted to vote for them. I wanted to vote for them because at least they're not the Never Liberal Party. I mean, they're called the Party of National Liberals, but I think it's more accurate to call them the Never Liberal Party. Do you know why I want to flatten their curve this election? Like, that's my goal. It's like flatten the curve of the Never Liberal Party, because they have sent the police officers after my friends and after my family every time they had the audacity to leave the home during this summer. You know, it's not the lockdowns that was necessarily the biggest issue. No. The biggest issue is that when you wanted to leave your house, you had to have papers on you. You basically had to write, like, this consent every single time you left your home for, I don't know, like, taking out the garbage or buying groceries or, you know, like, essentials. Like, they would allow it. They would allow you. The government would allow you to leave your house. However, you needed to write, like, this consent form where you give your name, your address, your social security number, all of that information, and you promise that you left the house, for example, to take care of your sick relative or something. And if you didn't write it properly, if you didn't word it properly, if you forgot to write the date or you forgot to write the exact way they wanted you to write it, then you would get some of the biggest fines in the world. In a country where people who are retired make around $100 a month, they had to pay thousands of dollars in fines. There was like this guy that was already affected by dementia and other mental illness, didn't have a television, didn't have access to internet, goes out, boom, $2,000 fine. Goes out the next day with the ticket, but he didn't write it properly, another $2,000. You know, like, fuck these people. And when everyone was being shut down, and when everyone was being told they can't go to work, they would allow people to travel to Germany in the airport. Right? Like, for some reason, picking asparagus in Germany was okay. That didn't transmit COVID at all. But going out to your actual farm, going out to actual plow your field, oh no, that would increase the risk of COVID. Can't allow that. Yeah, those people getting fat and gorging themselves on the taxpayer money, they're getting money while the economy is shut down. I think, like, okay, no, you know, you make the case that things need to be shut down, that's fine. But why are the people in charge still getting money? They should show solidarity, be a good leader, lead by example. You know, show that you can weather the storm just like everyone else without having a paycheck. But yeah, no, so I'm going to definitely try to flatten the curve of the never liberal party. I don't care, but I can't really endorse actual bike thieves either. Now can I? You know, like this is just like the most dumbest shit. So I guess I'm going to vote for the United Hungarian Party. Yeah, no, like we actually have that. You see, the minority of people in Transylvania, the Hungarians, they have their own political party. One of the things they constantly campaign for is to gain Transylvania independence, and then I guess ally with Hungary or something. I'm going to vote for them now. Why? To troll. That's why. Every single time after elections, there are the analysts and the people in the media that are just baffled. Like, why is the Hungarian party getting a huge percentage in my town, for example? Because there's no Hungarians here, right? It's because people like me, that's why. The voice of the unheard. Voting to troll you people. They would probably get an aneurysm if they figured it out one day. That a lot of the Romanian youth and a lot of Romanians who are disgusted with the other parties and the message they have to bring forth, they're voting for the United Hungarian Democratic Party. Yeah. I would rather have Transylvania become independent so that the people in power get to steal less. You know, like, the people in the government would get less taxpayer money. It's like this commercial tells me, you know. Why don't you confront them? Yeah, you know, independence from Transylvania. I start to firmly approve with that now. Yeah, so that the people in government get less taxpayer money, less of a financial burden, less of a tick on the state. Yeah, no. So another thing that really is never being discussed in the press. Funny that, right? So during this summer, Romania had a couple of thousands of cases of COVID. Right, so they shut down the entire country for 1,000 cases. Okay, I mean, fine. It warms my heart the fact that the government forced me to stay. I was really glad that someone in the government wants to. You know, they locked me in my house for my own safety. I mean, I maintain my health. Like that. That is just wonderful. But what I don't understand is that there's more cases now. Like right now, there's tens of thousands of cases, and there's no lockdowns measures. Did the government stop caring about me? Oh no, elections are I see how it works. So when you have a couple of thousands of cases, lock down everything. Oh, elections are coming, we can't really lock down. Maybe they're going to lock down after the elections. It's going to be an interesting thing. Usually I don't get involved into Romanian politics because I'm a little bit black-pilled on it. It's usually like I just watch German and French politics. And whatever happens in Germany or France, they just do it here. So, you know, it's a lot simpler to just go to the source rather than look at the local thing. The reactionary politicians in Romania. But the thing is, right, when you send the cops after my friends to make sure that they have their papers in order when leaving the house, yeah, I start to take a little bit of an interest. All of a sudden, I become very politically active, and I'm going to vote for someone, just not the bike thief party. Like that is something else that I like. And I don't even have a bike, by the way, but it's the mentality that like really irks me, because I was going to vote for them initially, but you know, definitely changed my mind after this political ad. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to add something important here. This summer, just like now, I had long hair. And my hair is really difficult to maintain. If I don't cut it short, then it's got like all these vortexes and everywhere, and like the hair is standing out. And the cow method doesn't work. The cow method, like, and you try to put it back, but no, it just stands back up. It becomes erect, right? So it's like a Super Saiyan. My hair goes like... But, you know, a lot of people were like, V, get a haircut. Get a hair. Here's $10. $10 super chats. Get a haircut. Where do you want me to get it? Everything was closed. COVID, remember? It's like, oh, the barber salon was a biohazard. Was getting people killed. They had to shut it down. Like, thank you for the government for being so compassionate and worried about my health, right? They shut down everything. Where do you want me to get a haircut? But you know what I noticed? And this is very interesting that no one brings it up. Like, but a person that likes to think for themselves notice these things, which is why they don't like people to think for themselves. I was watching the mainstream media, the cathedral of knowledge, the people up there telling me how to live my life. And as I'm watching them, telling me to be afraid and telling me to stay indoors and, trying to terrify me, using every single trick in the book to scare the living shit out of me, I noticed one thing. Just like the politicians, they had pristine hair. Like literally every one of them. In a country where the hair salons were closed down. The only business that you can do was to pick asparagus in Germany. Other than that, everything shuts down. And I'm thinking like, you know what? I think they learned how to cut hair. I think like they learned a noble trade while the pandemic was occurring. They learned how to cut their own hair. Yeah. When the economic crisis is finally going to come, like every treatment has a bill. I'm glad that the government gave us the treatment, protected us from the evil malaria. But the bill is going to come. And when they're going to realize that people can't afford ads anymore because most people are unemployed, and journalists are going to start being laid off, I won't tell them to learn how to code. No, because that's horrible. They already know a noble profession. They know how to cut hair. So they're going to be just fine.